Good evening. Welcome to a special edition of Midnight in the Marshaverse. What happened was, we usually tape on Tuesday nights, Wednesday mornings at midnight. And of course, Tuesday was election day. And by the time we were set to air, because we do record the show at midnight, um, the whole world had crashed as far as we were concerned. And we were all totally gobsmacked and discombobulated. And so we had scheduled Adele Givens and George Wallace. We were, anticipating a big celebratory kind of show, or at least anticipatory. But by that time, uh, our hopes had pretty much been dashed. And so it wasn't really fair to Adele. She was wonderful, and I we just weren't in it. Most of us were drunk, and if we weren't drunk, we were just heartbroken. And so George wasn't here. So we did the show, and we'll be airing that one tomorrow. But I'm hoping to get this one done tonight. So let's get started where we always get started, with a little cannabis and cognac, because we need that right now. You know, disappointed is too mild a word for the way this election turned out, uh, as far as the hopes and dreams of millions of women and black people and a lot of other people too. But we were just devastated, and so I think we can break our rule and have just another little nightcap, have another little Remy, and a little of my stiletto vape, um, with this AMA cartridge. Uh, I don't know what AMA stands for, and I don't even know what strain this is, and I don't care. So let's have a little hit, because I'm grown. And we'll have a little of it. Here's to y'all. Here's to success. And here's to survival for the next 4 fucking years. Okay, I'm fortified. I don't have sponsor this week, but I do have a guest. It's his second time here on the show, and we will be working together again next weekend in Oakland at Tommy T's in Pleasanton, and we're going to do 3 nights. If you haven't got your tickets, you better hurry up, because we do a hell of a show. So uh, I'm very happy to have him here so he can tell us his experiences with the recent election, and we can talk about the show and commiserate for a minute. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a man I'm glad to call my friend, Mr. George Wallace. George Wallace.
Hello, Marsha. Hello, how are you? I'm sorry my lighting is bad, but these things
Yeah, we
happen.
do the best we can, honey, on short notice.
What's the story with this cognac thing? Because I don't know how to handle this. Do
What
I
do
have
you mean?
cognac too?
Well, if
What
I
is
can.
this, Marsha? Is that cognac?
Oh, what you got, Remy? Oh yeah, that's cognac, boo.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to do just up the top, like because I don't drink.
No, I know you don't drink.
Wait a second, Marsha. What is this,
That's cognac too. Why you got a stash of cognac?
Marsha? You told me to go get some. What is that?
More cognac. You
I'm gonna
bought that
drink
for
it.
me?
I'm gonna, I'm gonna drink it all. I'm gonna
No,
drink it.
yeah. Before it's over.
Yeah, right.
No, before it's over. I don't
First of
think you
all,
you
I'm so
need
happy
much.
to be with you. I'm so happy to be with you. I look up to you. The- you're the first lady comedian, female comedian I saw when I got to California, and since that day, it's just been, ooh, that's Marsha Warfield.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad they call you friend. So Tuesday night, we waited, and you were supposed to come on. What happened?
What happened was I was watching the elections on MSNBC, and I was saying, I'm going like the last time when Biden won. Georgia, Georgia's going to go blue. Georgia's going to go. Pennsylvania's going to go blue. I got all this stuff in my head, right? And then it got to the point like, this is not going to happen.
Hmm.
And I just shut down. I shut me down. I shut the television down, and I processed everything. And I went to my bedroom and I stayed I have never been in my bedroom all day in my life. Yesterday, I didn't turn the TV on until 6 o'clock. And that's when I processed everything. And now I'm good. I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
Okay.
Because it
I
is what it is, and I can handle this, and you can handle this. We've handled a lot. I'm a guy that rode the back of the bus when I was a kid. So,
okay.
yeah.
I have no doubt, and I understand that processing. I had done a video the day of the election, and I ended up spilling my guts and letting out all of my concerns and crying on TV,
Yeah.
and had gotten that out. So when the results were coming in, I was upset, but I had already kind of processed it somehow. And so the next day, I was able to help my friends uh, process the whole thing. But I did what I could as far as participating in the campaign. But you were really involved. You had fundraisers. You did shows, so it affected you more, right?
Yeah, a lot of people called me and said, I know you're really hurt. And I didn't call a lot of friends back yesterday or today. And they thought I was really out of it because I did. I did some shows. I did some shows with Jennifer Holliday in Atlanta. And oh my God, Steve Brown. So many comedians came out, comics for Kamala. I was in Detroit with Oprah, was with the Kamala for that meeting in Detroit. And then I went to Dallas, Texas with Jasmine Crockett. And we were raising money and funds for Comics for Kamala. But the thing is that I was for her, but I gotta, if anybody knows her, if you know her, Marsha, anyway, tell her, she got to stop texting me. She's got to stop. Marsha, I'm still getting texts today.
Okay, then you can still help.
You got one more chance.
Okay,
I'm
we
broke.
still need you. We
It
got
was a
we got
joy,
things to do.
yeah, it was a joy to work for her. And I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but she did a good job. And they did nothing wrong.
No, I don't think they did do anything wrong,
It's just
and
more
I
people
think
that talk.
I'm proud of the campaign she ran on short notice. I was just shocked that it
So,
went the way it. I mean, I was just totally not prepared,
not at
and I
all.
think the betrayal that I'm seeing online and I'm feeling and everything, the betrayal of Black women. Uh, uh, Black women are feeling really uh, hurt because when you think about men, white women, Black women, white men, of course, are at the top of the food chain, but Black men are still men and white women are still white. And
Mhm.
so a sizable percentage of both groups are going to align with a part of their identity that is never going to align with mine. So we don't have anything in common with white men at all. And we only have half things in common with these other two factions. So we see the game from a whole different perspective. And so looking at all of it, the betrayal, which really wasn't betrayal, but was unexpected. We had exposed more of white women and that little 2% of Black men felt personal.
Yeah, it
It
did.
felt
Did you lose some friends, Marsha? I lost some friends.
I
Uh,
didn't lose friends. I lost a lot of followers online. I'm just block his ass. That's a bot. Get the hell out of here.
and somebody told me I have to be careful for what I say and what I do. I did go on stage here in Las Vegas Monday night, and I blew away and said, "You got to be stupid to vote for this man." Blah 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 blah. And I was talking to his followers, and I did not know that they were there.
Okay.
Now
Th-
that we know what the country did, some people we know voted against me.
yes.
That's all I'm saying. And if you vote against me, I don't need you to be my friend. And
Well, yeah,
most
that's
people voted against themselves. That's what's the good thing about the bad thing, whatever.
I didn't see the appeal to I saw the online appeal to these people, but it was coded and I didn't know that it was as effective as it was. And I tried to tell people that a lot of this propaganda stuff is not direct. It's appealing to your emotional side of things. So you don't necessarily consciously connect it with being propaganda. And so you see, there was a this, that, the other, and somebody remember when we used to do so and so and so and so. And it takes you back to where when the next ad comes about somebody with traditional values, you're primed to listen to that.
Yeah.
And they did all these kinds of just basically mind games that most people ain't
Totally,
on social media and don't see all that all the time.
but totally lies. And you come on, they come on, and you go, these are lies. I think there should be a law against how many lies you can tell in a commercial. They just straight up blatant lies about her, about us, about the country. And
The Apprentice was rigged too.
so it was, right? Now,
Yeah, you
people
know.
don't, as George Wallace always says on stage, it's all lies. Everything is lies. It's all lies. And now I'm right now mad at America's Got Talent, Marsha, because they tell people they're going to give them $1 million, but they don't tell the public that it's going to take them 20 years. That's $50,000 a year for 20 years. Now,
Yeah.
Marsha, if you get if you get $50,000 a year, you got to pay your agent, you got to pay your tax, and you got to pay whatever. Now you stand around with $25,000 to pay your rent.
Yeah, but see, you sound like who was that Left Eye when she tried to explain that what nobody getting the paid like that you think they getting paid. But it's all part of the America has it should be the USA a hype. I've been saying that for years. This should be the USA a hype. If it's one thing we do well, is hype shit, regardless of what it is, whether it's good for you, bad, and we can sell huckster anything.
So
And
how do
so
you
we
start?
sold this myth of American nobility that so many people are emotionally tied to that when you challenge it even with facts, they can't hear you. You talking about my country.
Your country is so, let's go back to when Barack Obama ran. Let's tell you how full of shit this country is. There was a man that I love in Chicago. His name was Reverend Wright. You may have heard of
Yep.
him. What did he say?
He
God bless
said
America
the
and
chickens
God damn America. And
was
they were
coming
crazy.
home to roost.
Ooh. And he was right. But
Yeah.
Barack Obama had to disassociate himself with that man because he was telling the truth.
He denied him 3 times. He denied him 3
I
times.
think before Barack left the White House, he should have called Jeremiah Wright to Washington,
Yeah.
D.C.
When he announced his candidacy for Illinois, I think, or whatever, when he went to Springfield, and Jeremiah Wright was supposed to give the invocation, and he called him right before and said, you get a little rough. We're gonna have to, you can't do that, and broke the man's heart. According to him, that was heartbreaking. And then he did it again a couple of more times when Reverend Wright was expected to be validated, and be part of this ceremony that he had so invested in. This was his congregant that he baptized and stuff supposedly. So
Yeah, right. But you mentioned the hype. America and Obama knew the hype and he knew the bullshit that comes along with it. So
yeah,
that's how he got in too. He had to make that strategic move to become president. But after the second time, he should have just did what he wanted to do.
well, he was America's get out of racism free card.
Yeah.
Except nobody realized that it was monopoly money. It was just hype, like you
That
say.
wasn't racism, though. Apologizing to the man that you were right, especially his last year there. Americans, we've done a lot of bad, a lot of bad things to other people. How about a lot of bad things to us? You
Yep.
got another man out of Chicago, one of the greatest comedians I've ever met in my life, out of Chicago. Well, he's from Louisville, Kentucky. Muhammad Ali. Now, I call him the greatest comedian because he always made us laugh, right? You've never
Correct.
seen a man not make us laugh. He stood up for his rights. I love that man. I adore that man so much. And
Yes.
even knowing that stupid hype, but he would go on television and says, I ain't never shot no Vietnamese. They ain't never called me no nigga.
Right.
America has done so many bad things, not only to foreigners, but to us. Us.
But we came up in an era where there were outspoken activist comedians, uh,
Dick
not
Gregory.
just black comedians. A lot of activists, comedians that took on these issues and just sliced through them with a knife, surgically dissected them and giving them back to people in a like seat where they could see it. And we got into your mama's so fat kind of mentality.
I got
And
into
not just that what I'm talking, but hi, how you doing is what we're into.
right.
We're into so where you from? And we don't have as many, or when I do see those kind of comedians who sneak shit in, uh, I can appreciate them, and we're gonna need a lot of them
We're gonna
from
need a
now
lot.
on.
Yeah. So I think that's another thing about what you do and what I do and what happened on yesterday, Tuesday night. We have the best job in the world. Now, the shape, the condition America is in, we have an opportunity to go out and make people happy. That's what
Yes,
I like about my job and about what you do. No matter what they've gone through on Tuesday, pissed off, crying, and all of that, we have an opportunity to go do our thing and at least laugh.
yeah,
I wrote a book called Laugh It Off. So,
yeah.
and laughter is healing for the soul. So we do have that opportunity to get back out there. And that's what we're going to be doing in Oakland next weekend, the 15th, 16th, and 17th, trying to make people forget about what has happened. It is what it is. Now let's laugh and let's do the best we can do with what we got.
That's right. And it's not just an opportunity, it's a need. You need to do that. And I need to do this. We
Got to.
don't just do this for uh, shits and giggles. This is what our purpose is.
It's our
And
it's
so uh,
laughter. Laughter
we
is healing.
can't function if we're not doing some of this. I got a lot of mine out online when I wasn't working, but still, it's a need that we have. And I look forward to working with you. I like work. We've been doing shows back and forth since 1977, 78.
You
So,
don't need to know everything. 1977, Marsha.
yeah.
You know
So
amazing?
it's a blessing to be here in 2024
Oh, that's true. That's number one.
and to witness this history and to try to contribute whatever we have to the effort to make things better. They don't, all in all, we're doing all right.
We're doing real good, to be honest. And we're going to continue to do good and do better, even with this orange walking peanut, circus peanut, and all this. We're gonna,
Orange Ronald McDonald.
right?
That's what he looks like to me.
We're gonna do it, and especially good people, comedians like me and you. We're gonna work forever.
But we have to not fall into the trap of trying to out them. I think we have to, and one of the things I liked about Kamala Harris's campaign is that she embraced her femininity and her
Mhm.
feminine power.
Right,
She didn't succumb to the bluster and bullying. And I think in the long run, that will be such a contrast to what's about to happen with the testosterone laden mood the country is, that they're going to need some nurture, and she will seem like
well,
a
she did a
a
good job with
blessing.
that structure because you know me, I would have come back on it. I'd have talked about his depends and the older around. I'd have talked about his everything is fake about him. He's the devil in this. He's the devil, not in disguise. You are the devil. I'd have
In
hit
plain sight.
him right in plain
The
sight.
devil in plain sight.
And Michelle Obama said, "When they go low, we go higher." I'd have met him halfway.
No, I think I could dig a little, on the
We could
slide, kick a little dirt over
just
there.
give me another lie. That's what. Give me another lie. You're doing real good. Just keep lying. Yeah,
It's amazing. And the people who voted for him weren't really duped. They were willing participants. And it just goes to show we get segregated educations, so we and segregated experiences, so we have segregated perspectives. And what appeals to people who grew up one way and people who grew up another, and what they know, what they're taught, what they've been exposed to are totally different.
totally.
A kid growing up on the south side of Chicago and another kid growing up a few miles away in the far suburbs, They have two different lives.
Totally. I grew
And
up in
so
Georgia, and the white school, you're probably not going to believe this. The white schools had new books. We had used books.
yeah, I'm from Chicago. We had them after they went to all the other schools. They went
You had
like
them,
grocery.
and we had the one that you guys had used from Chicago. They brought them to Georgia.
Okay, then like grocery stores in the hood where they go, they take out the food and all the fresh food is in the big grocery stores. They look at you funny in, and then what's left goes around to the more discount. They say they don't do that, but when you go to the stores that are affordable, you find you have to search through the tomatoes a little more before you find one that ain't gonna be rotten tomorrow.
True.
And so it's a tradition that we've made the best of since we've been here,
Make the best of.
where we get treated as lesser than in every aspect and keep on proving otherwise.
Now, what are we going to do, Marsha? What are we going to do now? I mean, all of us, not just,
I don't know, Pinky. I didn't watch that show. What are we gonna do today?
yeah, are you ready to continue to live and do your thing? And
I'm going to Oakland with my friend. We're gonna do some stand up and have some fun with people who come out uh, just because we ask them
just because
and pay money to.
now for us too, they know they need us too. They
Yeah,
know that this is healing for the soul, and it's going nothing. Nothing is better than smiles on your face. I tell you, when a group of people get together, they're going to be so relieved from 4 nights away. They're going to go,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm back. I'm
Well,
back."
I hope so, and I know they're gonna enjoy you. We always do. I want you to say hello to my son before you go to.
You have a son, man. You got kids everywhere. We don't even know.
Yeah, I do.
Let me
And
tell
so
you,
say
I,
hello to my son who looks like me. He don't drink either. Uh,
what does this VSOP mean? Very special something.
it means how long it was aged. Newer ones are just very special. If it's been aged longer, it becomes very special old pale. And as we go up, then you can get to XO or Family Reserve, or and they cost more as you go up. They've been aged longer.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you. Can whiskey get old?
Whiskey should be old when you get it. It's been aged too.
Well,
So,
I got all of this when I worked at the Flamingo. And
aha.
so when
So
I had
that's vintage.
vintage, yeah, well, no, only 10 years or 5 years. I was there
Yeah,
for 10
that's a
years.
vintage.
So
But
that's why
like I said, say hello to my son, the illegitimate one who looks just like me, Stephen Roberts.
Stephen,
Hi, Stephen. Hey, Stephen. We went
So
to the rally, right?
what happened?
Well,
Did we
well,
win?
yeah, we won. It's okay, champ. Wake up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
hello,
okay.
Mr.
Hi,
Roberts. How
George.
are you, Stephen Roberts?
I'm good. How are you, George?
I feel good all over, man. I feel good all over.
That's what I love about you. You're very, very positive. That's what I have in common with you. We're both very positive. You took 15 minutes and now you're back on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm the grump in the group. So, so we went to the rally here for friends and family, and got to see the show for them. How did you feel Tuesday night?
Oh, well, here's the thing. I knew in the back of my mind it was very possible because I watch the signs in the lawns and on the back of the cars. And, you know, there was just no signs for Harris Walls. And there were signs everywhere for Trump. And every time I do that, I'm always right about who wins. And I think that people were afraid to put signs on their cars and in
That's
their lawns.
true.
Yes.
And I think people did not want confrontation. And I think that people in general were nervous and afraid. And all the way up to the polls, I think that the interesting thing is the voter turnout that they're pointing out. And I'm really curious about why that voter turnout was the way it was.
I want to know how you can have record voter turnout and less votes.
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't understand. She
Where does
didn't get thousands of votes that they expected her to get. But they had, I mean, we saw lines. We know she had turnout. So how does that work?
Well, is it possible there were records in one state and not records in another one?
Well, that is
I,
possible.
I,
Maybe that's what it was.
I want to see that information. You know, I'm very interested in how the forensic analysis finally breaks down, because it seemed like her momentum was infectious, was, you know, on the upswing.
You know
Yeah.
what? That's
And
because we were in certain cities where it was infectious. We were in Georgia. We were in and the places we were, we actually won. Now I'm from Atlanta. Atlanta won. Georgia didn't win. It didn't come out for her, but Atlanta did, and Illinois
Right.
did, and that's
and
what happened.
Nevada, yeah.
Yeah, another.
Have they finished counting Nevada yet?
It doesn't matter. I what difference does it matter?
Nevada doesn't matter. Anyway, well, I want to thank the people who look for us, who support us. This is our, it's hard to put it into context, because it was supposed to be our 20th show, our anniversary 20th show, but it's truncated. So now it's our 20 A and B show.
It's truncated.
It's Trump. Anyway.
That's gonna say, wait a minute.
Huh?
Don't use his name on anything we do.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
These bottles and bust you upside your head. I gotta drink
Right.
Marsha. We drink what do you call it?
Cognac.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
when you consider fire?
Yes. When we first got to LA, everybody got a snifter, and then they would set it on fire and set the glass down.
Oh, I knew
And
that was.
then we all realized that we were burning all the alcohol off, and everybody
It's not working. That's not true. Yeah.
don't do that.
Old
So we
bottles
learned to
burn alcohol.
warm it with our hands,
Yeah.
so that you could release the aroma and have nearly the same experience.
So
Anyway,
Scott, where are you from, Scott? Where are you? Who are you?
Stephen.
I am from the
Wait, Steve.
border. I'm from El Paso, Texas. I'm from the border of El Paso and Ciudad Juarez.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where's your accent?
You know, if I had an accent, I'd talk like my parents who are from North Texas. I would talk like this. I'd talk like Ross Perot, but I didn't get
That was Ross Perot, all right.
it.
It sounded a bit like our friend too.
Which friend?
Why you ask me a question when
I'm sorry,
I don't
the
have
friend.
notes?
I got it. The friend.
Your friend who tragically passed,
Oh, Leslie Jordan.
Leslie Jordan.
Leslie Jordan was Tennessee. He was like
Tennessee.
this. He was just sweet as you could be.
He was delightful,
Just like
and
every word has a syllable, at least two of them.
he was kind of like the king of the pandemic. He kept people entertained
Yeah.
from
He went
all
from-
walks of life.
That Instagram stuff he did went from 100,000 followers to 5 million followers in 1 month.
And people look forward to it
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
So we miss him and raise a toast and to his memory. Thank you, George, for coming in and staying up.
We're just starting to talk.
Oh, well, stay then. Shit, what you got to say?
Got nothing to do but get ready to go to Atlanta, do some work, then come up and say, I got to leave Las Vegas, go to Atlanta, and then come meet you in Oakland.
Okay. Well, I got to do the cellar Monday night and then come back from Oakland and do the cellar the week of the 18th.
How about
So,
that? They're
yeah.
waiting for me. I did the cellar on Monday night. That's where I was on Monday night.
Okay. Well, that's why I have to come and clean up next Monday.
They're guaranteed a good show on Mondays. How about that?
I'm going to have fun. And I know they had fun with you. Where you Chick-fil-A? Is it? Oh, Jack in the Box. Oh, but you do go to Chick-fil-A, don't
I love Chick-fil-A. You know, I'm from Atlanta. I've been to the original Chick-fil-A. I
Huh.
love. But you know, Stephen, there are more Chick-fil-A's in the state of Texas than any other state. Did you know that?
That's
Steve?
why I don't live there.
Too many damn Chick-fil-A.
I said I don't live there because of that. You know, Fortune Feimster she's got a great. She actually said, I'm gay, but I'm fat first. I go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, well, as a lesbian, we're not allowed to go to Chick-fil-A.
No,
So
gay people and lesbians are not allowed.
no, we're not
They
allowed to
take your
go.
queer card away
Right
immediately.
away, right away. Bad
Well,
gay
listen,
person.
when Chick-fil-A opened in New York City, there was a protest outside, right? And I went down to support them. I says, now, I'm here to support you, whatever you want to do, but I'm going to go in there and get your number one first. Does anybody want
You said, I'm going to support them. Who's hungry?
Yeah. What can I get you
to
something?
voting in Georgia, taking a bottle of water with you? Well,
No,
really,
I've had Chick-fil-A once, and that was because on a movie, TV show set, whatever, that's what they serve for lunch. And so I had Chick-fil-A, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I went back to being a militant lesbian.
well,
Am I allowed to smile when I say militant lesbian?
you can't smile if you know it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You got to be tough.
I had like Chicago. You don't mess with nobody from Chicago, man. Anyway, I've enjoyed speaking to you and talking to you. I always enjoy having you
Who you
in
talking
mind.
about? Me or Stephen?
Both, I can talk to both of y'all at the same time.
That is so cool. We appreciate you more than you know. And
Ego stroking you.
we look forward to doing this again anytime.
All right.
And the next
We
time,
are always going to, because we are family. I got my people with me.
somebody
So
should make a song called "We Are Family." That would probably be a hit.
yeah, I know. I think I can. Come on. Hey. Anyway, yes, I believe that I am very fortunate to have good people in my life, good, caring people, people who had all of the qualities necessary to be disappointed with what happened. I would not be comfortable with somebody who was like, yeah, we got that bitch out of here.
See, you know we're gonna have a good time this weekend. Stephen, you should come visit us up in Oakland, California.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
come on. I'll be there. I keep singing. I'll be there. And George will be there. You gonna hang out with me for a minute, Steve?
I
Steven?
am.
Steve.
Yep.
Did I say Steve?
You did, but that's okay. You're forgiven.
No, I'm not allowed to call him Steve.
Oh, it has to be Stephen. I apologize. I called you Scott earlier. I have to apologize.
Yeah, well, hey,
That's all right. Scott's fine.
you can call me Scott.
Not allowed. Anyway, thank you, George. And I'll see you this next weekend.
I love you, and what? There's absolutely
nothing you can do about it. I love you and your mama.
I know damn well she didn't say that.
Nice to see you, George.
Marsha, you from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
My mama voted too.
Shut up. For Trump.
Now.
Your mama voted for Trump. Okay,
Oh,
that's the sickest burn.
That's low. That's very low.
That's so low.
Well, with a glass of cognac.
Okay.
I got my drawers on. Have a good day.
You too. Good night. Hi.
Hi.
Marino.
He makes every visit special. He's so cool.
We're lucky to have him. And I'm lucky to know that he had a purple Lincoln.
Yeah. Purple Lincoln.
Yeah.
You don't you wonder where that Lincoln is now? Where is that Lincoln now?
I think it's in the Smithsonian.
Really?
No. What the fuck? I could be Donald Trump. People buy my lies.
Oh, you're going to lose a couple of sons if you're Donald Trump.
I know, but I've been so focused on being a truth teller that, it's kind of fascinating to know you can just say any fucking thing and people will believe it.
It's really easy to be a liar. It's really easy. It's, I taught my son that when he was growing up, I said, it's really easy to fool people. It's not hard. It's not hard to fool people. What's hard is to tell the truth and to be you. That's hard.
stand in it.
Yeah.
Yes, my mother always said, if you're woman enough to do a thing, be woman enough to stand up and admit it.
Amen. And listen, it's easy to steal from people. It's easy to lie to people. It's easy to pull the rug from under people. All of that stuff is really easy. That's why people do it, because they're not doing the work of their life, whatever that's supposed to be, you know?
I don't know. Tricksters have a purpose, especially in African folklore, from what I've been cursorily uh, been exposed to.
Yeah, but I'm not into it.
But the trickster, you know, it puts the onus on you, the choices you make. Yeah, but you can have this, and
Right.
then it's up to you to make the right decision.
Right.
Uh, and so
I mean, they
I don't
do.
know.
They
I don't
do.
know. I just think I got lost for a minute in just the randomness of everything, and the darkness that seems to be coming. It's like when you can smell rain coming and it's not here yet. It's kind of having that same feeling right
Yeah.
now.
It's like this, you see the storm clouds over the mountain and they're headed your way, and you're wondering, what's this going to be like?
Yeah. So how bad will it get? And sometimes, it starts, stops, and you cool. And sometimes you have to evacuate the whole family.
Yeah.
So, what is keeping you upbeat right now?
Well, my dogs, my pets, cuddles with pets are a great thing. If you have a pet, you know how great they can be. So
Yeah.
the dogs are, they still love you. They're still happy. They're still eager. They're still so happy to see me when I walk in the door.
I
Or
know I've been uplifted by my fish. I
oh,
stroke my fish.
stroke
And
your fish.
yes, we sleep together. It gets a little messy sometimes, but
You know, whatever works for you.
help me make it through the night.
What's keeping you upbeat?
I don't know. What's
Are you
keeping
upbeat? Are you not upbeat right now?
I am right now, but what's keeping me going is, like I said, I put it all out on online. It's on YouTube too, if you want to watch my meltdown. Um, but I put it out, and then I talked to my friends, and I got comforting them and
Yeah.
talking them down.
Yeah,
And
I've had several phone calls from people from other parts of the country calling me and needing to be listened to, needing to be able to vent. And yeah, I mean, nothing takes me out of my own misery like
other
helping
people's misery.
the other people's misery. Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Because I'm not thinking about me anymore. I'm thinking about
No, but
me.
first I had to experience my own pain and
Of
acknowledge
course.
it. And
Yeah.
so I took the time to cry, to grieve, to get it out, to listen to some blues, And then, when you get tired of crying and you're like, okay, this ain't gonna work. And you start to now start over clean,
Yeah, I like what George said. George said he had to stay in his room for the day. Wasn't ready to come out until later that evening.
Yeah.
That makes total sense, and it's a cryable moment. It's a
And if
cryable
your
situation.
emotions, if you don't do that, it doesn't make them go away. They don't go away until you do that.
Yeah,
And so
I
either you're going to do it incrementally, or you're going to just do the grown-up thing and wallow for a bit.
yeah, I think it is really talking about, I mean, not going away. I think that's the worst part of like watching the TV and seeing what the results are. The Daily Show, the name of their coverage was "There's nothing we can do about it now." You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so 2024, and so that's the worst part, is that it's done. It's a done deal, and
Yeah.
the next 4 years are coming, and
Yep.
they're going to be what they are going to be.
I see the train a coming.
So you've got kids like my son, who's in his 30s, and other people, younger people than me, who are, they haven't lived through some of this kind of stuff as much as we have lived through this. I mean, I try to remind people in the 70s that people were bombing institutions and government buildings all over the place.
Well, yeah.
There was all kinds of stuff going on throughout the last decades, and we're going to get through it, and there are going to be people who are going to suffer.
But it's now, see, that's what I was thinking. Do you have the sense that, on the one hand, being a healing spirit, that you don't want it to be as bad as you imagine it can be? That you want it to be smooth and okay? Or do you have the other, I see this is going to be terrible for people like me, and I want to protect them any way I can? How's this
He is
future look?
unpredictable. He's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And the why we're scared now is Project 2025, which is giving us evidence of what, it's giving us foreshadowing of what they're going to try to do. The Supreme Court not only is stacked and ready to go, but it has also already given him looser reins than any president has ever had, or any president has ever wanted, for that matter.
Yeah.
And so
He's also facing more charges.
yeah, and he has said that he's going to do certain things, and we're going to find out if he's really going to do those other things and how much power the other side has to stop him. And
That's what I'm saying.
that's the scary part. That's the
Yeah.
scary part, because it's unknown.
And it's also stressful when you have to live your daily life with all its stresses and requirements, and then have to worry about what's coming down the pike too.
The people I worry about the most are the DACA kids. Those are the people I really worry about. And trans people. Those are the people who have been vilified and who have been the punching bag. I mean, obviously women too, but trans and DACA kids are really walking around with targets on their backs.
Also black people, and
Of course.
because they blame us for
Of course.
racism and picking on them, that we've been picking on them too long.
That you're
And
racist. That
yes,
you're
and
reverse racist.
they're tired of us complaining when we have more than them, as according to some of the things I've seen.
Of course.
And,
That doesn't, I'm not diminishing that at all. I'm just saying.
but it's not just that, Stephen. What I really worry about are the people who voted for him with the feeling that they were secure because they are citizens or they have paper. And they don't realize that when they sweep, everybody gets caught up. And they could end up being victims of what they voted for.
I read in social media today, so I don't know if it's true or not, but I read that there are certain companies, manufacturers that are already cutting jobs because they see tariffs coming. And the very people who work for them are the very people who voted for Trump.
Yeah.
And that already they're, now you're seeing what's happening. You're seeing what's going to happen. So that's a scenario. Yours is a scenario.
They're sweeping for citizens, for Hispanics, whatever, undocumented people.
Right.
Well, we'll take everybody and sort it out later.
Right. And separate you from your children.
Right. And so the fear is, and the hopeful part of your mind says, I hope that doesn't happen. But the fear in your gut is that it probably will.
Well, I think that there's going to be a version of all of it. There's going to be a version. How bad it's going to be, I don't know. How much they can get past, I don't know. How much they can get away with, I don't know. How long they can delay by sending things like delaying things in courts and getting it all the way to the Supreme Court, and how long that's going to take. It is a bureaucracy, and it is a bunch of BS, and people's lives hang in the balance. So,
yeah. But I don't think people realize all of the potential, and more so than that, than creating a horror movie scenario, is
Right.
that we don't have many tools to fight it. Uh, they've been given all the keys to all of the doors, and we know what could happen based on what happened last time. Uh, and so it's hard to keep that upbeat with, especially in the face of people who voted for that in those kind of numbers.
Yeah, and it's tempting to turn off everything and create a bubble and just wake me up in 4 years. I'm just not going to pay attention to any of this. I mean, I've thought about that, to be honest. It's like
Sure.
maybe I just need to not pay attention to it now. But you know, that's not giving the respect to the causes I have stood for their due. I mean, who am I if I suddenly take my toys and go home just
It's
because it
also
didn't go my way?
not recognizing your power and potential. And I've been
Right.
working on a piece that appeals to that because we are, as marginalized people, conditioned to not recognize our power,
Oh
and
yeah.
to not exploit it and use it and stand in it. We are taught to women are apologize. Even now, there are black people who we have grown up with. I'm sorry, that kind of, not so much abject supplication, but there's still a bit of that, not feeling your own power. And with women, we have to realize that our power is not masculine, and we're not taught that. We're taught that power is one thing, and it's one thing to be a man. But there's a feminine side. We are not soft men. We are women. And one of the things I respected most about the way Kamala ran is that she
Yeah.
stood in her feminine power. She
Yeah.
did not start to become the bully, and bluster that her opponent was. And
And she was also a lawyer, and she knew how to be a professional lawyer, and she was well practiced, and she knew how to stand up in her own power, in her well schooled, well experienced power as a lawyer and a woman.
as a woman and as a black woman, and she did
Yes.
not apologize for any of it, uh, any of that, or the backlash. And I knew when she first started running, and people were saying she wasn't black enough. I said, "Oh, don't worry, she gonna get blacker. The more this goes on, the blacker she gonna get."
You know, I
Because,
knew that that was true, what you're saying, when they asked her what her favorite curse word was. As soon as she said that, I was like, oh, she's fine. She's gonna be
but yeah,
fine.
because she said the word I told you was, I tell everybody, is the secret word that black people been calling, saying since slavery.
Yeah, it's a
And
good sign. That was
you
a good
know,
sign.
she said, and as much as she can,
Right.
she could say it, but she didn't really stutter. She just
Because it starts with an M and it ends with an
said,
R.
okay, and it's not Mister.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I admired the way she carried herself, uh, in the whole thing. Well, thank you for staying up at 2 nights in well, not exactly in a row, but coming to do this again.
It's my
And your
pleasure.
brother, I hope he's okay. He's on the road.
Yeah.
He's going to, is it Cleveland, Cincinnati? He's going back east with Lunel.
Cleveland.
Okay, with Lunel this weekend,
Yeah, isn't
and
that nice?
so, uh, and you are uh, getting naked and doing comedy again, right?
I am not getting naked and doing comedy. I am keeping my clothes on and doing comedy at Puppetry of the Penis. I am not a puppeteer.
Okay.
This does not perform, it does not come out. I leave that
Oh,
to other people. But
well,
um,
you know,
what's the
darn.
point?
What darn, Anyway, have
Yes.
a wonderful show. Thank you
You
for
too, and
staying
safe
up.
travels.
I will take that with gratitude.
Yes. I love you,
Have a
Mom.
wonderful evening. Say hello to your hubby
I
and
will.
and
You
the
too.
puppies. And you, I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye, everybody. Remember to subscribe and comment and all that other good stuff.
Yes, and watch all of the 19 before,
Yeah.
and let us know. I got some audience participation things I'm going to start doing.
Oh,
So
cool.
stay tuned for that, and I hope you'll participate and get involved. And hey, this is a all love zone. You know, this is an honest zone. This is a truthful zone. This is a fun zone full of hugs and kisses and puppies and alcohol and weed. Y'all
And
have a good
and laughter.
y'all have a good time. See you next week.
She got away, no one can do it like that. Her own style, no one can wear that hat. Hey, don't you know that the queen is back? She's back, she's back. She withstands the test of time. When it comes to strength, she